Hi guys, it's Vlog Media Breeze and I'm Bree. I am coming to you today because I wanted to talk about Britney Spears, but before I get into that, I have one little slight household item to clear up, and it has to do with people who come into my commentary and talk about the way that I look or talk about my background here. And listen, it doesn't matter. I know what I look like. I look at myself every single day in the mirror. In fact, this is my house, so I'm the one who put that green screen back there. Yes, I put it back there. I did it. So I know it's back there. And it's back there for a reason, of course. I'm just now getting into these YouTube streets, so I wanted to go ahead and get my green screen set up. I'm still waiting on, there's a lot that goes into the interworkings of the production of YouTube. And so sometimes it takes time for people to get set up, and other people have things at their fingertips, so they go ahead and do it. I don't have that luxury, but I do love to come on here and talk about my thoughts. And most of you don't know, but I could very easily be qualified to be a journalist because I did go to college for journalism and marketing. Unlike some other YouTubers on here who call themselves journalists, to be a journalist, you really do need to go to school for that, or you need to be working for an organization who has given you that title. I digress. Other than that, it's blogging and vlogging. Like what I'm doing today even is just, I call it vlogging because it's a video. So it's like vlog is like video plus blog, you know. At any rate, I wanted to come on here and talk about Britney Spears. So I'm going to put my glasses on here because I want to be able to see, see here whatever it is that I'm going to be reading to you good people. And while you're here, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, click the notification bell, and please leave a comment. And I always encourage people to go back and look at some of my other videos because I do like to do in the news, Vlog Media Breeze in the news. So I do a lot of current events and talk about what's going on an international level as well as on a local level sometimes. Additionally, I do the Real Housewives shows on Bravo, the ones that I actually like. And so let's go ahead. I want to read something to you here real quickly. Britney Spears right now, as most of us know who know her, I mean, she's a big time pop star. She has made millions of dollars. At one point, like right now they're saying she's like the conservatorship anyway is $60 million, which means it's gone down tremendously because it seems like just a couple of years ago that she was worth about $200 million. I remember reading that. So what is her dad doing with this money? And she just finished doing all these shows in Vegas not too long ago. So she should really have a lot more. I'm just, I'm concerned, and I'm going to talk to you about some of my concerns and see if you share in them. So a conservatorship is, and I'm going to read this, so I'm not going to be looking into the camera as I read because I'm reading it because I want to make sure I get it right. And I'm reading it actually just from Google, basically. Actually, the Sun, it's called the Sun magazine. A conservatorship is a court case where a judge appoints a responsible person or organization to care for another adult who cannot care for himself or herself or manage his or her own finances. Now, I have to say, just looking at Britney and listening to her speak, she is very capable of handling her own finances. Even that very basic definition of a conservatorship, because once it becomes legal, there are some specific guidelines that the court puts in place that have to be followed. So what I just read to you is just the basis of the conservatorship. So regardless, I believe Britney is very capable of handling her own money and her own finances. I'm going to tell you why I think her dad, Jamie, wants a hold of those finances here shortly. And it's going to be allegedly, but it's just something that, sometimes we kind of wonder about other people and why they do the things that they do. And sometimes things get into our head and we have an opinion about it. So I'm going to express that to you through this commentary. But this says here, On NPR, it says, the case of Britney Spears has turned a harsh spotlight on conservatorship, the legal arrangement under which her father controls her finances and her life. In a passionate plea on Wednesday, that was just yesterday, okay? In a passionate plea Wednesday to a Los Angeles Superior Court judge, Spears requested an end to the long-running conservatorship, saying she is exploited, can't sleep, is depressed, and cries every day. And I believe that. I believe that. I want to pause here. I'm going to share the rest of it, but this, for this young lady, is modern day slavery. This is her dad treating her like a modern day slave. It really is. He has control, you guys, of even her person. That's what the conservatorship says. He has control of her person. He is not just the conservatorship, he's also her psychologist, her counselor, her manager, which means whenever he says you are booked to do this, she has to go there. And she doesn't even control the money when she gets there. If that is not modern day slavery, I don't know what is. I don't know what is. So it goes on to say, this is Britney in her words, all I want is to own my money. For this to end, she says. Spears' conservatorship dates to 2008. That's a long time. Stemming from mental health crisis at the time, it was created as a probate conservatorship in which her father, Jamie Spears, had control over her person and her estate. This arrangement requires her estimated $60 million fortune to be controlled by her father. And remember, I told you just a few years ago, I read where she was worth $200 million. It was like up in the two. It was a lot. Because I remember thinking, wow, she's almost worth more than Beyonce. Or they were neck and neck or something. So it goes on to say, there's like two more paragraphs. It says, the arrangement requires her estimated $60 million fortune to be controlled by her father, who has legal power to negotiate business opportunities and other financial arrangements. Since 2019, Jody Montgomery, a professional appointed by the court, has acted as a temporary conservator over Spears' personal matters. To understand more about conservatorships and when they are used, they go on to something else, so I digress on that. They talk about Leslie Salzman, who is a professor at Cardozo School of Law. So this thing with her dad and other people controlling her person, when she is able to communicate to a judge who she is, she's able to drive a car. She's able to do a lot of other things. And I think that what is going on is her dad is allegedly, I have to say allegedly here because I don't know these people other than what I'm reading and seeing on television. I do believe her dad is in some kind of financial predicament or trouble. Okay? He was out there in Vegas with her, and I surmise there's no telling what kind of wheels and deals he was throwing out there once he got out there. Because he made a comment saying that he didn't raise his daughters. He never wanted his daughters to be in Hollywood. And that now that they have done this, it comes with its ailments, with its problems. You know? And he made a comment something similar to, you got to do what you got to do because now there are a lot of problems. So allegedly, I think he is in financial trouble. And that's why even her worth has decreased really in his hands, if what I read a couple of years ago was true. And not only has it decreased, but he's not letting go because he probably owes a lot of money. And if he lets go, who knows what that means for him. I just am saying allegedly. Because there's no way that this woman should not have control of her money. She is perfectly capable of going to Vegas and being a responsible adult. She gets on stage, she dances, she, does her gig. That's her work. That's what she's doing. She's working for her money. So she's being responsible enough to show up there on the nights when she's supposed to show up, or when she had her contract with them. I think that contract ended some time ago. And um, that's what I wanted to come on here and say. So I want you guys to get in the comments and tell me what you think about it. I was going to do this as a live, but my lives are like terrible. So I thought, let me go on and record this and put it out there and then have people come in. Because my lives are literally, like I did a live the other night on critical race theory. There should have been at least 1,000 people in that live. And I'm going, if I can't get even 1,000 people, that's not good. I'm going to have to figure some things out in terms of marketing and see because I have a certain market I want to reach. So I'm going to have to, dig back into my expertise and figure out what entices them. Right now I'm doing things just kind of on the fly and haven't really come up with a strategy, and I need to come up with a really good strategy and see how that works for a couple of months. And then if it doesn't, I'm out of here, okay? Because no sense in hanging around a place that you're not getting the business you want. I digress, but I did want to just, get your ideas about Britney. So get down in my comments and, tell me what you think about what I said about her dad, Jamie. To my knowledge, her mom and dad, at one point, I saw where they had divorced some years ago. And then a few years ago again, I saw where they were back together maritally. And so I don't know how that works. I do know that her mom has a lot of regrets about not being there for Brittany, but she said she had the other kids that she needed to take care of, so she couldn't really always be on the road with Brittany. And you guys, if you are listening and you have young kids, let this be a lesson. I just learned that a lot of parents who send their children to acting and to go on these, gigs for Hollywood and to do things in the music industry. Those people are out there alone with their producers and people who are making money off of them. And that is what those people care about. That is why you have so many people who are in Hollywood as youth, and they grow up to be damaged adults, and some of them end up in really very bad circumstances. They end up doing, the D word, drugs. I don't know if you can say that on YouTube. They end up putting things in their system, in their body, that tears it apart and tears apart the way they think. So they also end up abused, the R word, like people in the industry end up doing those types of things. And I'm just learning some of these things that happen to these people, because I used to read about it and wonder why, you had everything going for you. Why would you go out here and do that? Well, it's an escape. Whenever they have been abused in different ways, they end up doing they end up putting things in their system, I think, to escape from having to know that something happened to them. That's traumatic for a child. And I think that Brittany, this is really sad. This is sad. Her dad needs to let it go. He needs to let it go. But then maybe he's afraid to let it go. Maybe the people who have their foot on him have him afraid to let it go. I don't know. I just feel really bad for her. But I do think that they need to remove him from her conservatorship. She doesn't need a conservatorship. The woman can drive. She has her children. She looks good. She looks healthy. She talks. She speaks. There are a lot of people in worse predicament than she is who need somebody to handle them. But the courts don't care about those people, do they? They don't care about a mother out here on the street who's doing bad things to her children. They care about someone, on the other end of the economical scale. So I digress. I just wanted to come on here and put my thoughts out here about that and see what people are thinking about it as well. So Thank you very much for tuning in here. And I'm going to go now. And like I said, get in my comments and look at some of my other videos. I do, like I said, in the news, I do Real Housewives segments. And invite your friends over as well. And have a good day. Many blessings to you. Bye-bye.